Friday, May 14th. Today we're going to be heading out to the front yard to check out all the plants that are growing out there. And before we head out there, we have a few plants that are growing here in the resort garden. We have a couple of sugar pie pumpkin plants, and they're looking really happy. And then we direct sowed some glass gem corn over here. We've had a very active skunk, so this wire netting is to help keep the skunk out. We don't want the skunk to dig up our nicely sowed corn. And in addition, we also use more of our salvaged lumber to create a barrier to the fence, and hoping that the skunk stays out. One of the nice things about this active skunk is that we now have this area to allow the ducks to roam in with this wooden barrier here. So that's a bonus, if you can call it that. And then as we head out to the front yard, we'll see a new bed that was recently put down. It was for the seed potatoes that we got from a gardening friend. She had extra, so we have some French fingerling down there, and then some purple Peruvian fingerlings. And then our French fingerlings that we sowed in April have popped up, and they're looking pretty tall now. And we're gonna hill it a little bit, but we're hoping that they'll still produce well here in Southern California during the summer months. And over here is where we have our main growing area. And if you've caught the previous updates, our japonica striped maize corn have gotten taller, and our soybean, they're getting a little bit taller. We got one really nice strong plant here. This is a bolting cilantro, and then we have another bed here for the Adirondack red potato. So that's down there, and then we sowed some spinach on top, so we'll hope to harvest the spinach before the potatoes sprout. And then panning this way, we have some cool weather crops that are here, like this Monty broccoli. The Monty variety is a hybrid variety that is on its description a more heat tolerant variety, so we're growing this one. We got a nice, pretty good size crown there. And then the cabbage that we direct sowed in, I can't remember when we direct sowed this cabbage, but it was later than you probably should, but the weather has been cooperating. It's been like June gloom here in Southern California, so we got a nice head that's forming, and I'm playing chicken with it as far as leaving it here. I'm not ready to use it in the kitchen yet, so hopefully by leaving it here, it'll get bigger and not bolt on us. The other thing helping it from bolting is that we have a couple of sunflowers that are planted nearby, and when the sun comes in during the day at this angle, the cabbage plant gets shade, so that's helping out a lot. And then down below in front of it are some French gray shallots. We got some nice thick stalks on the plants over here, so those are going to come up, grow into nice shallots that we can use in the kitchen. And then the thinner stalks we'll leave and replant in the fall to get our new crop for the following year. So this is the French gray shallot. It's a very good tasting shallot, difficult to find in the market. And if you can grow it and you're a shallot, if you love shallots, it's a good one to grow. And panning to the right, our Seneca stalker red corn has gotten taller, and the dark stalks are coming in. And we grow this for the ornamental aspect of the plant, just like the glass gem corn. To either side of our corn plants are some pinto bean plants, and these plants were sowed from seeds that we collected last year, and they've shot up and grew really fast. So the freshness of the seed really matters, and that's why we try to collect as many seeds as possible from our garden and plant with them within 1 or 2 years of saving them. Our watermelon plant is spreading out more. The leaves are not as big as I hope them to be. They need to be my hand size and a little bit bigger. So I think we need to come back and feed it some more. The leaves are going to be a good indicator of whether you should feed it or not. At the same time, it's not been super sunny here, so that's also another factor. But I think it needs the feeding. And then when we pan this way, we have our zucchini plants that have been producing some early zucchinis for us. And they got some, there's a blossom there. And we've harvested some and made some dishes with them. Last night we made a wok fried beef zucchini with mushrooms. And then over here we have a cucumber plant. This is a pickling cucumber, and I thought I saw some blossoms with some female. There it is. There's a cucumber that's forming. And we have a Genoa lemon that's growing into the path. So once we harvest this lemon, we'll chop this branch back, but we'll wait for that to ripen. We always have some type of marigold growing in the garden, and they're a good plant, a companion plant. And it's come check out. I'm trying to come over this way without bumping the camera too much. The Roma plants. So they're getting pretty tall and they're starting to grow into the path. So it was time to make a support for the plant or plants. And we made this support using sunflower stalks. And then to hold the frame together, we have a branch that acts as a peg. And we have this frame where we have a horizontal sunflower stalk, and it's now keeping up our Roma plants. So it's the support will keep the tomatoes off the ground in addition to keeping our path clear. And coming down this way, we have our Florida broadleaf mustard. The leaves get really big like this, and we prefer to harvest the leaves when they're about this size. And we haven't been keeping up with eating them. We've been eating other greens as well. So when we go and resow this plant, we're going to sow 2 plants and get our succession planting. It's starting to bolt, so it's time to sow new plants. And then we have some potato plants. We've been eating a lot of potatoes. There's always some plant growing out here, and like there was a plant down here. And we have some potatoes to dig out. I think these are russet potatoes. So we have some potatoes there to dig out, and we've made quite a few things with them. Lomo Saltado, which is a Peruvian dish that's a fusion with Cantonese cuisine. And we made a potato salad, among other things like beef curry. And let's head over this way where we have plants growing, and this is more of a intermixing of vegetables with landscape, and we try to make it a little bit more formal looking as much as possible. So over here we have some spinach down here. These are the Thai peppers, the rooster spur, and then over here is a San Luis poblano pepper. Balsam is a flower that we have right there that we're trying to intermix, and then those are the purple filet beans over there, velar, that have popped up. And beans we should be sowing in the middle of May. The warmer weather will let them grow really fast. If you sow them too early, like what we're doing, they're susceptible to being eaten up by the bugs and the slugs. So over here we had a nice thick sowing of the velar beans, but then the bugs have thinned out our sowing. So that's one thing. If you're in Southern California, you may want to wait until mid-May to sow your beans if you're having issues with bugs eating them. Over here is our garden where we try to make it a little bit more symmetric and more orderly. So we have things planted in rows, but then also we mix in and layer things for more of a landscape-ish look to it. So in the back we have our ox heart tomatoes, and then we have a couple of tomato ladders that we're using to support them. And in hindsight, I should have moved the ladders over some more and then done our weaving. As you can see over there, the weaving. Here's a lateral growth that we want to remove. So we're removing all the lateral growths, training this plant to a single stem because the ox heart is a big tomato, and we want to get all the energy to fewer tomatoes rather than a bunch of lateral growth and a lot of tomatoes that end up being a little bit smaller. So we're just coming in and taking all the lateral growth. And with the plant, some of them we're training to 2 stems. We have 2 main leads, but most of them are just a single stem. These are Himo Togarashi peppers, and they're starting to blossom. Our beak peppers are growing, and then we have in front some garlic chive that we should be cutting. They do well when you cut and continue to eat them. Some volunteer lettuce, and we're trying to grow some Swiss chard right there in this little blank space. We got some little seedlings there, so hopefully they'll fill it in and get some color to this area. And that over there is a hydrangea that's back there. We also have some, let's see if we can get in there and show you the growing area. We have some hops that are in here, and it's planted in a container that's sunken into the ground. We don't want the roots to spread and go crazy, but the hops is going to grow. You can see the little tiny vine that's here. That's growing onto this trellis here, and by summer it'll fill it in, and we hope that it'll be a nice natural barrier for the house, because the sun's going to come this way. It's going to throw a lot of heat into the house, so we're using the hops to cool the house for the summertime. And that's going to be it for this little porch area. And on the steps, we need to work on getting all the weeds out, and it's pretty crazy with weeds. And now here we want to try to keep it as tidy as possible, but we have a bunch of sweet peas, and then this dill is producing these really pretty flowers that look like fireworks in the sky. And that's going to be it for our tour of the front yard. We have oh wait, that's not it. We got, let's see, a black beauty eggplant that's forming. This is an overwintered plant. And then speaking of overwintered, this is our 3-year-old poblano pepper, and it produces a nice harvest of big poblano peppers for us. So it's nice to see it setting some blossoms now. And I guess that's going to be it for what's growing out in the front yard. There's things growing, and it's filling in, and it's looking pretty lush, especially when we come over here to our main garden and see all the corn and the tomatoes getting taller. So that's pretty exciting that summer's coming around, and we're going to be harvesting some summer crops soon. So with that, we're going to end our video today. Thanks for coming out and visiting.